Yeah, let's walk through the case study. So take this, we called as in here, when we want to create a basically the big product, so it is always that we will go through with the minimum valuable product. So what I mean that, for example, there is a the one Hyundai, maybe the manufacturer, they want to manufacture, they want to introduce basically the new model, so what of a car. So what they do that they don't design all of them, they just design as a skeleton. They put the necessary important stuff and then they start doing the testing driving. You have may have seen that, like, there are the cars which are not like in a good shape, but they are just running. So that's a testing drive. So in the design also, like, it is always better, like if you have a, if you are working with the big projects, so it is always to convince your business and understand your users to start with the MVP feature, so that you will gonna, when I say the MVP feature, it are the minimum projects features to you are designing that, and then you are testing, then you can see that how it is impacting your user, are they happy or not happy. And then it is a cost effective, not, it's not a cost effective also. And then you are adding the more feature and come up with the full flesh product. So that is a basically the MVP we have a design. So now let's understand, this is a basically as a business, because you are a working as a, if you go in the industries, like you work for that, you are working for the business. Okay, the business is giving you some task and goal, you need to come up with the solution. So now in this example, like we have a business goal, we want to make the business want an application which will the upscale the government school teachers. Okay, they want to they want to just upscale the government skills, their skills. Okay, now as an application we can say the education upskill app. And then we see that what is the basically the problem statement, who is giving you, the business is giving you, the business team is giving you the problem statement. And there is a need of strengthening our government schools considering the kind of the information asymmetric that exists in the education system, but to ensure it will have an empower our the government school teachers. So they are saying now create an app to upskill government school teacher. How would you design it? The task at hand is to emphasize with them and provide a functional as well as engaging solution. So provide a prototype design to find out the MVP feature for that. So they want some application to where the teachers will going to be upscale government schools. So now you analyze, because this is for you the data you need to analyze here. So when you see here, just go in a deeper sense. They are saying that the task at hand, it is to emphasize with them, provide the functional and engaging solution. So as a designer, your job is basically you get the data. So you are as a UX designer, you are doing the analytic part. The business is asking you, I need basically the design which should be, which should provide me the functional as well as engaging the solution. So it should engage the users. Who are the users? The market segments we called as a users. So it is a registered government school teachers. Okay, so these are the like these are the assumptions we make, take that, like let's say the all the school teachers, for example in India, like all are basically having the centralized database where their profile. Why I'm taking this assumption, this is very important, because the system is going to, the moment they log in, the system is going to be recognized because they have their profile already there. Either he's a math teacher or he's the I mean the science teacher, physics teacher, any teacher. The data is already there in the system. Now when we say that, we need to strategize and need based on the business goals and the customer experience. So these are the basically the business outcome through that the problem statements, what they want. the vision, strength, empower, engaging, and innovativeness. Okay, now there is a basically, you can say that when you get this the business data, so what you are going to do, that your target goal is the users. Okay, you need to understand that the what are the basically my school teachers, those are the users, like what are the basically the user needs, what there is a term, like you can, if you can search in a Google also, what is the, how we can do the value stream mapping data, that is a basically it comes in the strategize only, when you do the strategy for the design, so you can create the value stream mapping data. There is a tool called Minitab, like where you can find out the what are the basically the data which is going to be given a value to the business, but which are going to be add solve the problem for the users. Okay, now when I said you remember on the problem statement, there was a functional. Functional was that they want the same time, simplify and organize. Now we are talking about the user data. Now here we are saying that emotional, reward me, provide access and reduce anxiety. So these are the basically I've taken the functional element of the basically through this data. So emotionals are nothing, it's just like you are engaging, but your emotional part is there with the application. You need to understand that. Let's take a simple example. Let's say you need to for example search anything. So you, because you get as a psychologically what you say, that if you ask somebody, somebody will not say that you don't know this. So it's better that when the people are basically using the in front of the laptop or a mobile, they search anything, they are not scared, they are emotionally attached with they trust more on their mobile or the basically the desktop or a laptop, anything. So what they do, that they basically, it's our human psychological, we are not like open with the people, we are searching anything in the desktop or anything in a Google, for example, I can say that. So that is an emotional attachment is there, where you are engaging in your application, in your design, to your users, so that they can get like engaged and they can complete their task. So that is a basically thing. So always as I remember that if you are designing, you are making a career in the design as a UX or UI, uh, you always remember that whatever I will do the design, my users should be the first. I should give my first priority to the users, and then you build up the empathy. I'll show you how you can build up the empathy for here. So this is the same user centric design process which we have. um, let's do this like the design strategy. So when I'm saying the design strategy, which is the first cycle here, now what you do, that you have an indent, executive indent, you understand what is the basically the business is requirements are there. You have the market segments, what are the main general tasks, and you are going to create those tasks. Like the main job is to upskill based on the interest topic and gain knowledge and learn methods. So these are the technologies. This is a user critical success factor. When we say the critical success factor means what, like who are the basically going to be use this application, so they are the government teacher school. And when we say the usability criteria, it would be affecting your basically ROI, and it is affecting your performance, that in a day as and how many user or teachers are accessing your application. So that you need to cover that, because you need to keep everything in your mind, that you have to do that when you're strategizing something, you need all the information. So the environmental profiles are like your location, your geography, workspace, lighting, device, software. So this is your understanding. You, if you are designing, what is your environmental profile for that, for the user. Now this is a user profile where you go with the focus groups. Like when I say the focus groups, like you have a maths department, you have a physics department, you have a chemistry, you have a for example, any department in the schools, you understand their basically their characteristics, their language, their domain expertise, their general computer experience, their expectation. So when we say the expectation, let's say you have a one department which are the all the PhDs, or all teachers are the PhD level. That is in criteria in a school. So what do you call that? Those are the basically the user profiles. You understand these are the PhD math teacher, for example. So that's why you create this user profile, and then you understand their expectation, easy to use, provide access and low congestion load. So now this is a high level, you go with the task. So when we say the high level task, like you create the login, interest form, view available skill sort. I'll come up with this design, like what I'm trying to basically solve here. So what I'm doing here, like as a functional, they will log in, I will get them the basically the skill set interest form, where they can basically pick up their skills, and what they are going to search, and based on that the course will be available. They can do the assessment and the certification. Okay, now this certification is a basically engaging part, which is giving them the reward. Now this how we create, after the user profile, we create a persona. Is It's an individual, basically to get an understand the individual person. And now if you are making a application, it's always better that you create a different personas for the different people. Maybe in assumption you can take it like 3 to 4 personas for that, like, and in simple, you need to understand their demography, and then you need to understand user things user wants to know, and things user uh, wants to do. So things user wants to do in this context, like there are different courses methods based on the interest, duration of the course, certification, and add skill. When what the user wants to do, he wants to upgrade his skill and learn the different methods. It could be something different also in different personas. So I'm taking as a mass teacher personas, and understanding he wants to learn a different methods. Now, this is a Crobel's Kostler to understand more on the psychological part, to get an emotional. So when we do this, this is we called a DABA. So why we are understanding this? We are just understanding the deeper level mental model of the teachers, and to build the empathy for that. Let's say, if you talk the same language what teachers talk about, that especially in India, like you have a government, it's very difficult to make them the convince. So when you talk about the same language, they understand their the behavior, understand their the mental model, what daily basis they do that, what which books they prefer, what they teach, how, what is the basically the pattern of the teaching is there. Then based on that, when you do this, like you understand, you will build up them empathy for them. Okay, now this is a very big topic. I'm just concluding very in a short way because we have a very less time. So this is a when I said that the user research, so these are the basically when you analyze the data, you came up with the strategy, you came up, you understand the users. Then the second job would be, you will find out like which user research methods are easy to for that. For in this context, like we can use the qualitative and quantitative. When I say the qualitative and quantitative, those are basically the direct and indirect data. So these are like you need to basically ask the plenty of questions to the user. You don't have to judge them, they don't have to feel that you are questioning them, you are basically understanding their behavior. So in the direct interview, like I have used the mixed method, like user interviews, contextual inquiry, and direct observation. And a qualitative data indirect way, I have used the surveys. So in the survey, I have used that 40 users participation, and I got an answer that's a keyword. There are tools where you get basically a lot of questions are there, but you get the words, like what is the basically the common word which user has to, which user has taken given the input. So it's a 95% how many and how much teachers suggested should have online skill sets app. So they want this, 95% people say that they want online app, and 80% teachers said there is a lack of the resource and manual process. So this data you get it from the direct data, which is interviews, observations, contextual inquiry. Now in order to come up with the relevant user research, what you're going to do that you come up with the pain points data. So that your data is that teacher says that lot of like they have to refer the books, there's a lack of process, there is a cognition load, they have to think so many times that what if I need some book and what is the process, is a long process for that, it needs an approval from the library if it is not available. So unavailability of the book. So this is very important part. If you see that if you are designing, you need to understand the user psychological. You can search in a Google, like there is a lot of like the methods, user research methods. This is a hermeneutic adaptation. So what I'm trying to do here, because I have to engage the user, so what I'll do that I am basically giving the hermeneutic adaptation, which is basically the positive and negative uh, solutions for the user, so that they can see that and give that their response. So now after that what we do that, this is an ideation phase. Remember from the top, like we had a, so we create the basically the user scenarios. As a designer, as a UX designer, you create the basically the user scenarios, and then you create the expected task flow here. So Rohan is a qualified math teacher and teaches 8 to 12 grade students. He is expertise in the teaching board mass method, but he wants to upgrade and study other methods also, like the international methods. So what is the basically the solution you are providing, because you have already done the research. So you are saying he will log in, he will see the interest form, he will see the dashboard, then he can select the courses, start the session, give the assessment, and then they can start or cancel. So all it means that it's a complete user task flow. So this is a user task flow. Based on the scenario, you create this user flow. Now, this is a usability success criteria where you basically have a different measurements. Maybe in the business, they will ask you that, boss, you are spending a little time on that. You are coming with the design. How you know that your design is the better, or how you judge that? So if you give this business as a chart, like this is a performance, measurable performance, that's a learning, efficiency, error, memorable, and user satisfaction, what you are going to give a usability criteria, and who are the basically the users, and what is the value you are giving to them. You are saving time in organizing, you are simplifying, you are providing access, you are giving the engaging with the basically giving them the certification. Okay, this is a small like the prototype. Actually we do the wireframing with the any tool you do that. Even your paper and pen is a good enough for to come up with the wireframe. But these days you have a prototype tools. When you sign in and you go with the enter your credentials and then you enter your OTP, this will ask you the first time that, okay boss, this is a welcome Rohan, and then you enter your, please fill the interest for you from you want to upgrade. So he will select the topic, and then he will upgrade the basically the methods he wants to upgrade. The it will list down the methods, and it would ask the basically what is the indentation for upgrading that. The cognition, you can reduce the cognition load. What you are trying to do that, you are just giving them the drop down, they can select, they don't have to think about too much. And then this is a dashboard which is giving you, you have selected whatever from the interest form, and you are getting the basically the two assessment. You can start with that, and then you get basically the videos or slides depending upon the content, and then you can have a full control of this. You play or cancel it, you can pause, you can come back and just start that. And then once you're done with your certification, the assessment and everything, you will get a questionnaire also, and then you get a certification. So all I mean here, this is a usability testing which I have done. Then you have a moderator, facilitator, and participant. What it does that you give us some task to the user and just observe them, like how much time they have taken to complete that task. If it is a less time, definitely your design is good. If he's not asking you so many questions and all, then there is a problem. Okay, so how you measure that? You measure with the basically the success rate, effectiveness, efficiency. You check how your design is efficient, and then a satisfaction, like how much the user has given you the satisfaction. When you control the when you come up with the satisfaction, so that means that they are not asking questions, so they are directly doing their task and completing that. That's so easy. All right, but sometimes the people make a basically the time, they take a time, so that's a reason that you are just understanding their behavior. Now this is a goal matrix, like when business will ask you that, okay, you came up with the design solution, and how you say that, how you value with that, with each and every data you have. So for example, the first goal was the empowering and strengthening. So what you are going to do, that you are providing them the functional design solution, skill online training, and then you are providing them the access and managing them, because it's an app and they can save time. Rather than going to the library, they can access and upgrade their self and get the basically the reward. The emotional part is there, and they can reduce the anxiety. So this is how you are basically um, making the design. It's not like the design you are making a very fancy design, wireframe, prototype, wow kind of the design, but it is all about like how your design is the users are happy, the business, you are creating the value to the business, and you are solving the problem. So that is a basically the design. When we talk about the design, that is a basically depending, it's a change management, and it depends upon your data. When your data is going to be changed, your design is going to be changed, and which is going to be direct impact and give a value to the uh, business. Okay, now let's I think we have a very less time. Okay, I'll go to the quickly the slides. I think my first important was the UCD process. So this is a history. You can see like how gradually it has been impact and increase the professionals. When I say the professional, it's not like the job market we are saying. We are just saying that how much like the professional as a history got increased gradually. So this is a chart to show you that like how gradually it is going to be increased. And people say that like you have a AI and machine learning, there are so many automatic things, and how it is going to be impact in the design. No, I mean, if you are a multi-talented and still your AI or any virtual reality also is there, but you need your design, you need your work would be there. You need to understand those technologies and just give your design solution accordingly that way. Now the career and the job opportunities, people never get confused that people in the job market also, they said UI UX, you need a HTML and CSS also. That never go with that kind of that. The industry is not changing, there are different sectors, there are different fields. Like you need to keep yourself like if you are making a career in that, don't think about that you need to go with the all the phases, because somebody is very good in the graphic designer, it's not necessary he will be good in the analytic part, he will be good in the user research part. So always as an experience, I will advise that if you are taking any professional, so just see based on your analytic thinking or interest, you choose one of the stream, and then if you are good in the design, for example, this combination can go here, like somebody is good in the UX strategy plans and then he's a good in the UX designer. This is the together, and this may go together also the user research. Okay, but this is a separate, basically somebody is very good in the color visuals controls, they understand the component level, how the technologies and all. He can be the UI designer, on top of that the interaction designer. Okay, so and then you have a completely the graphic designer and the product designer. When I say the product designer, you are building the app which is based on the iPhone or IO or the Android. You are making a complete product. Let's say Mantra is a product, Amazon is a product. So you are understanding the complete in and out of that product. Okay, now and you can see the glass door surveys, like how demanding that the UX is. That you can see in the LinkedIn also, there are so many profiles. But never get confused that you need to basically go with each and every phase. It is good to know that you can be a jack in all, but don't think about that way. Just think about, like, if you are good in the analytic part, strategy part, or research, you understand the user, pick up those kind of the stream first, and then you can specialize in that, get an experience, gets hand on that, and then you can add on your skills based on the different your interest. Okay, so I think the summary would be like, we have learned about the definition about the UX and UI and their silent features, and we understood the human centric process, which I have explained you with the case study. And there is basically the career and job opportunities lot in the user research. Why user interface design? Because everything is going to be more in the digital world. But when you are doing the digital world, definitely you need the interface, you need the design. So that's why these days the company is not focusing about, like, okay, how much experience you have in the tool, but it is more important that how you can solve the design with all these features. Like, you have a user research strategy, you are a designer, and then you come up with the design solution, and then you test with the user. So that is a more important with that in all sense. Well, I say that the UX is nothing, it's a user is experience, where you get the experience from the user in each and every phase of your design.